Alright, guys, welcome to this 30 days journey of coding. We're going to be developing kind of like an enterprise software operating kind of system. So, we're going to develop a software system whereby it's going to have different software modules within it, and also it's going to have different entities or organizations within this entire software system, so that instead of having different organizations using different kind of systems for different setups, we are having everything in one whole ecosystem. Yeah, so this is the core logic of the entire system, whereby instead of building separate systems for like hospitals, schools, banks, logistic companies and stuff like that, we are having one software that is going to have a setup whereby that company can or organization can manage the identity of the users. It can have like a CRM dashboard, a billing setup, scheduling, inventory, reporting, workflows, and all that other stuff, yeah, or even e-commerce stuff like that. Instead of you having to set up like different kind of systems, everything is going to be in the same setup. So I'm going to develop this system online through YouTube, and we're going to use AI in the best way possible so that we ensure that we have clean architecture and we're delivering everything high quality code. Yeah, so I'm going to deliver this project under Vike Agency. Vike Agency is my company that I'd set up to deliver such kind of system solutions and packages. Yeah, so let me view this as a public member. So what you'll see basically is this, yeah. So we have a few projects that are up and running, and yeah, so this is another one that is, as per now, the repository might be private, but in case we have entities and organizations that are willing to take this one, then yeah, you can please DM me and have it as your organization setup. But the links will all be public and you can view and use the application and stuff like that. So let's start. I have already set up our repository. It just has a basic README file, and the README is just explaining what the repo is going to be about. Then we have an agents.md file. This is the one that is going to have like all the context for our agents that are going to be within it for every session. As per now, I'm having it only listing our commit kind of setup. We're using Git as our source code management tool. Then so using conversion commits for our commit setup. Then as per now, I just have a .example.m file, then have a .m file, then now agents directory I have the convex ERD and superbase ERD. So how we're going to design this system? This system is going to be developed using two main databases, whereby, okay, let me go to the project overview and take you through it. So so what is Africa OS? Africa OS is going to be a modular SaaS operating system that produces reusable enterprise engines, identity, billing, scheduling, inventory, reporting, workflows, and stat. So instead of us having separate systems, everything is going to be within modules instead of standalone builds. So how we're going to structure this setup? This whole ecosystem or operating system is going to be set up using a monorepo structure, whereby we're going to have different applications under the apps directory, then the different modules within the modules directory, and then those modules are going to be are going to have like different functionalities that those modules are going to use. Then as per now, we're going to use Stack for our main kind of framework that we're going to go with. I had thought about using Nest.js, but then I love the way Tanstack is very type safe and have been trying out a lot of applications within it, and that's what we're going to go with as per now. So we're going to use mostly server actions or server functions, the way you want to call them, preferred instead of using the API kind of setup whereby you manually have to write route.ts files that contain the API setups, yeah, for the get, post, and those kind of requests. So shall be using server functions. Then components will be storing our UI setup, then services that will be storing our logic. Then as per now, we're going to use a feature-based kind of architecture so that in case one service is down, then it's easy to turn on a service, turn off a service, and something like that. It's easy to turn on features and remove features, yeah. Then our hosting platform is going to be Vercel for most of the systems, then Supabase, and then Convex, yeah. And then we have reserved our API routes exclusively for things like webhooks, .OAuth callbacks, things like Google Auth and stuff like that. Then even in case if you want to integrate outside APIs, then we can use that kind of that setup. Then this is the tech stack that we're going to use. It's Tanstack for the main application, TypeScript, PNPM. We're using Superbase as our main database, then Convex as our reactive execution kind of database. So this is where we're going to have things like real-time notifications in case entities want things like live chatting, live kind of updates, yeah. So we're going to use Convex specifically for that. Then Superbase will store our main kind of ecosystem database, yeah. Then for authentication, we shall use Superbase Auth. Then styling, Tailwind, we shall use Shadsi and UI components. Then linting, we shall use ESLint, formatting just picture. Then git hooks and commits. Instead of using Husky, we are going to use left hook. Yeah. So then for conversion commits, we're going to use that. Architecture overview. So we're going to use two distinct data platforms, yeah? The Superbase one and the Convex one. What does the Superbase one do? So the Superbase one is the authoritative database, and every business critical data is going to live within this setup, such as our users, our organizations, roles, permissions, contacts, and all the data for the different entities, yeah? So all tables are going to include an organization ID column that doesn't have to be null because we're going to identify our users based on their organizations, yeah? So one user can be in multiple organizations. Then we shall have role level security setup so that we have our security setup even at the database level. Then we're going to have the convex reactive execution layer. So convex is not going to be the database source of truth. It's just going to serve as an event kind of layer whereby in case we want real-time UI subscriptions, live metrics, database or dashboard counters, active streams, notification deliveries, or we're having email kind of notifications, steps tracking, session management, chat and messaging, user activities, of rendering feeds. That's what Convex is going to be mostly for. Yeah. Then we're going to use an event-driven kind of architecture whereby the two systems communicate through event bridges. And when a business transaction occurs in Superbase and a record is inserted within the events table, a convex sync process pulls and listens for new events, processes them, and then updates the convex tables as needed. Yeah, so this is going to be the event flow whereby a module's server action or server function writes business data to Superbase. Then the same action is going to trigger an event to insert that record within the event table. then with its type, payload, and organization context, then Convex is going to pick up that event and processes it through an appropriate handler, and then it updates the reactive tables, and then the UI components are going to subscribe to this Convex query in real time, and then they update so that we have a real-time kind of update instead of having to constrain ourselves to Supabase, because it's going to store a lot of data here. So instead of us having to manually have to query Supabase every single time, we're going to have Convex to do that, so that we don't slow down our users, because I know our users are going to be okay. This is going to be a very big system, so for it to be faster, we're going to do that. Then we're going to do a multi-tenant design whereby every row in a business table is scoped to an organization ID as explained before, and then all modules and their tenants. Alright, so no cross organization data is accessible at database level. So this is going to be enforced by RLS, and that ensures that one organization can't view another organization's data, and one user's data can't be seen by another user's data. Yeah, so that's why even our Convex setup has to include that organization ID setup. Then then the database structure, or the ERD. So these are the ones that are created using DB diagram. As per now, let me minimize this so we can zoom in and see how these tables look like. Yeah, okay, I'm not able to like properly. Okay, all right, so this is okay. So this is how our database diagram is going to be. Our users are going, this is managed by Supabase auth. Then they're going to have profiles, and those users, there's going to be a users organizations, whereby that user linked to the users table is having a user ID, then the organization ID, then permissions, roles, CRM contacts, stuff like that. Yeah, so all these different modules are going to be picking from that kind of setup. Yeah, so organization ID and users and stuff like that. So then we have the Convex ERD, which is located under this. So this is the PDF. So as you can see, the Convex setup has a few tables. Yeah, so we're having workflow runs, sync logs, notifications, conversations, messages, events, activity streams, UI states, live metrics, and sessions. Yeah, so as we develop this, we shall be going through all these things in details. I just want to give you like a project overview of what we're going to develop. Then the data flow, as explained before, user action, Supabase write, event inserts, and stuff like that. Then yeah, so this is just going through the same setup, the modules, Convex. Then this is how we're going to scope our monorepo. This is how our comments are going to be. Then I set up also a GitHub project, whereby when I go to projects, sorry, we have an Africa OS kind of project. Then I also use ChatGPT, by the way, to try to set up all those issues, and like it has helped me a lot to brainstorm how this project is going to be. So yeah, ChatGPT is really a good brainstormer. So as per now, we have a board kind of setup whereby we're going to manage this project properly. So as you can see, when you click on this issue, so the issues have like different objectives, context, technical designs, and stuff like that. Yeah, so as per now, everything is in the backlog. As per now, we're going to start with setting up the entire multi-tenant organization setup. Yeah, so this is the one whereby we're having all our users set up, all of them using organizations and stuff like that. So I can close this and then I move this to the ready section as well as the monorepo directory setup. Yeah, actually that's the one we're going to start with. I don't know why GitHub kind of has a delay in that, but yeah. So as per now, I'm going to move this monorepo directory setup into the development part. And alright, so we have milestones. So the very first one is the M1 foundation milestone. So we have to set up the identity infrastructure and the main core abstractions. Then this is the issue workflow. So we have things in the backlog, ready, development, things that are in testing, things that are in staging and in production. So we're going to set up all these different environments for testing, staging and production. So I'll be showing you how to set up that kind of architecture, yeah? And yet you're using a monorepo. Yeah. So this is explaining all those modules, and yeah, so this is a system design summary, and yeah, so that's it as for now. So thank you for having joined in on this journey. We're going to be spending 30 days developing this entire system. So this entire operating system might have over 30 applications. Yeah, so organizations, instead of jungling different tools and different applications, everything can be in one entire system. Yeah, especially for Africa-based companies or African-based organizations, as well as international-based companies and systems. Yeah. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining in on this introduction and overview. Yeah, have a blessed day and tune in for my next video, since I'm going to be doing these things through live streams, sometimes going to be uploading different videos on the progress, but yeah, mostly I'm going to be live streaming this entire development setup. So thanks a lot for the journey and thanks a lot for tuning in. Please subscribe, please like, and yeah, so that we can develop this thing together. Thank you and have a blessed day.